First topic. Would you bring Nick Foles in? 21-11 as a starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. And, of course, Super Bowl MVP. Would you bring him in? Nick Foles. Have him as, get rid of Ian Book. Put your guy, the guy you drafted, have him as an inactive. Nick Foles is your backup. I would take Nick Foles over Mariota. Wouldn't you? As my backup quarterback, who would you feel more comfortable? Let me ask you this. Who would you feel more comfortable if a disaster happened? Marcus Mariota or Nick Foles is your quarterback in Philly, who's 21-11 and a Super Bowl MVP. There's something magical about the city of brotherly love with this guy. He plays great football in Philly. He plays great football. Mariota over Foles? Really? Foles had his shine? Okay. Foles can and did win it all. Don't you think a guy like Nick Foles could be somebody that Jalen Hurts could lean on? When he comes over to the sidelines, sitting there talking, having someone like that, like Alex Smith was to Patrick Mahomes early in his career. You know, Jalen's still early in this process. You're telling me you'd rather have a failed quarterback as the backup quarterback versus a guy who captured the ultimate prize. There's no threat of him taking that job. There's no threat of guys whispering in the corner. He's beloved in the locker room. Two of the most beloved guys in the history of Philadelphia Eagle football, Jalen Hurts and Nick Foles in the quarterback room. You think that's a bad idea? I think, to me, the more knowledge you have. So wait a minute. Brian Johnson, Nick Sirianni, Nick Foles, and Jalen Hurts in your quarterback room. You don't think that's a good look and bringing more experience to an offense that lost a coordinator? I do. Would you want to see that? You think the Eagles are thinking of it? Ian Book. Come on, man. Ian Book sucked at Notre Dame. I mean, the kid they drafted from Stanford kind of liked Foles a little bit. Can you imagine Nick Foles and Jalen Hurts in that quarterback room for that young quarterback too? Do it. And then get this. Who knows? Maybe a team mid-season comes to you like they did for Joe Flacco. Hey, we need a quarterback. How much and what would you give up for Foles? I'll give you a third rounder for him. Fourth rounder for him. Okay. Desperation. How many times do we see desperation happen midway through the NFL season when a quarterback goes down? I don't think you can have too many of them guys. I think the more people you have in your quarterback room, the more assets you have potentially to be able to make trades for or with. S. Blunt goes, calm down, Sills. We're not interested. So you're trying to tell me you don't think Howie goes over every single blade of grass in his front lawn when it comes to the construction of this team. You're out of your mind if he hasn't thought this, or the organization, or the owner, or anyone else has thought this. You're out of your mind. That's not a guy who leaves an I undotted or a T uncrossed. He doesn't do that. You know they've debated it. Whether it's a long debate, maybe they're waiting to get closer to camp. Okay? Maybe they're waiting to get closer to camp. Can you imagine? Get this. You think the 49ers, I know 49er guys are in here. You think the 49ers would have loved to have had Nick Foles as a backup quarterback when Purdy went down? I'll tell you what, I'd feel a lot better than him, than Josh Johnson or Christian McCaffrey finishing the game for me. Okay? The more you have experience in that room, it's the best chance you have of avoiding disaster. Marcus Mariota, I don't have a problem with him, but I think it's an upgrade with Foles. Again, I'm not asking Nick to come in here and compete for a job to try to beat Jalen. That's not what I'm asking him to do. He's my lifeboat. If something goes sideways, I want a lifeboat. Cooper Rush was a lifeboat last year for the Cowboys. Saved their season. It saved their season. It did, right? Saved it. He went on to win what was he, 4-1 when he ran into Philly? You got to look. Hey, the Eagles the last 2 years have been awful lucky. Awful lucky when it comes to the health of the football team. Okay, hey, S. Blunt. See, S. Blunt, he has no caring right now. Jalen Hurts goes down, your season's over. Your season's over. Think about that. It's the only position, and it's the only issue that could derail the Eagles is if Hurts goes down. If Hurts goes down, your season's over. Over. You have no one in that locker room that can win games. Over. But you'd rather run into a building with Marcus Mariota and Ian Book versus a guy who ran through the tape for you. Okay. You got it. Hey, M. Blunt, you better hope that guy plays and is healthy, unlike he's been the last 2 years. He's missed games. He's going to miss more games. You're not under the guise here that Jalen Hurts is going to play all 17 games this year, are you? He's not. He's never. He's never played a full season.